Welcome, welcome. We're so glad you could join us. It was beautiful Father's Day in 2026 for the Freedom Festival and Father's Story Time. Welcome. I'm going to I'm speaking to let some technical sound get connected so Harmony can hear our voice and be connected. And I'm in my headphones. Welcome to the Freedom Festival. Welcome to Freedom Festival 2026. This is the fourth Freedom Festival. I'm Dr. Raquel Holmes. I have the honor of being both the founder of the festival and a Freedomista. The Freedomistas are organizers of the festival, and we are so glad you're here. So welcome back to those who've been here before, and welcome to those for who this is the first time at a festival. I'm going to do a little introduction of what the festival is and to welcome you to this particular session. So we started the Freedom Festival in 2023 in response to the desire to create through celebration, conversation, and play what freedom means to us and our communities. And we celebrate and explore emancipation and independence. So this is in the US, it's from Juneteenth to July 4th, 16 days. And it was created in that regards because Opal Lee, who we're going to hear more about today, actually said, let's celebrate from Juneteenth to July 4th. Wouldn't that make a wonderful celebration? So we've been gathering people around the country and the globe and doing events that are organized by ordinary people. Just ordinary people organize these events. And among them are independent artists, scientists, therapists, business people, just people who just have a dream. And they're giving and inviting others to explore what freedom and independence means to them. So we hope you'll take a moment to look at our website at freedomfestivalusa.org for all the other events that are happening, more than 22 in these 16 days. Yet we're very, very, very excited that you're here today for this event hosted by South Church as part of an extension of their bedtime storytelling that they do, to do a special one as part of the Freedom Festival, in which we're hearing stories of freedom. And so this is exciting. In fact, one of the South Church, this is their first time with the Freedom Festival. So let's just round of applause that we're here in this moment on Father's Day. Exactly. Beautiful. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you all. And we're going to jump right in. And I'm so excited because we have with us today Alice Faye Duncan. Alice Faye Duncan is an author. She is a national board teacher, a noted speaker, and beloved writer. For more than 30 years, she has written lyrical books that lift young readers with hope, including The Dream Builder's Blueprint, Blues Boy, the B.B. King story, and This Train is Bound for Glory. Opal Lee, which we're going to hear from today, is her most popular book that has sold over 100,000 copies since 2022. And she agreed, and these beautiful faces. Yes, 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 it's so lovely. It's so awesome to see you, to have you here, to be in story time together. Oh, it's so exciting. Alice Faye is going to share her journey and her story of Opal Lee. So let's get comfortable. It's story time. We get to enjoy, we get to share and be in communion. Welcome to the Freedom Festival. Faye, let's unmute your microphone. Unmute your microphone. So that, yay, welcome. I
There we go.
think we hear. There
Yes.
you go.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank
You're
you,
so
Dr.
welcome.
Raquel. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you, everyone who is here today for the Freedom Festival. Thank you, South Church. Thank you, Miss Camille, who made the invitation available to me. I am so grateful. We know that today we are celebrating several things. We're celebrating Today is Father's Day. Praise the Lord for my father who is now up in heaven. My spiritual father is in heaven, and my biological father is in heaven. My spiritual father is everywhere. But I thank the good Lord for my biological father who is now in heaven, who gave me the best of what he had. And I thank the Lord for that. But then we're also here celebrating Juneteenth Day, which is a day that we celebrate in our collective imagination the emancipation of those who were enslaved. And so I know you all are having a story time and we're doing all these celebrations all at once. And so for the celebration, I want to read to you my book, Opalie and What It Means to Be Free, the true story of the grandmother of Juneteenth, which is about grandmother Opalie who inspired the holiday to make it she inspired the government, the Senate, the Congress, the president to sign Juneteenth up as a national holiday. And so we are grateful for that. And so I'm here to share with you her life story and some things that happened to her on Juneteenth. Um, but before we get to that, um, I want to talk about the Juneteenth story as a whole and what it all means. And so I need everyone to understand that at any given time in life, before there is freedom, there is always a struggle. As my father would say, my dad used to say, he used to say, Alice Faye, no cross, no crown, which is to say, before there's freedom and liberation, however you deem that, there is also going to be a struggle. And if we have any young children listening, here is an analogy for you what this means. You know that before you receive the freedom of being an independent adult and going on to being a worker and a parent, before you receive the liberation of being a full-fledged adult, you first have to endure the struggle of elementary school. There's the struggle of middle school. There's the struggle of high school. There's the struggle of college and whatever your professional degrees are. And then after all of that, you are liberated to be a free and independent adult. But you don't become a free and independent adult until you have gone through the rigors and the struggle of school and preparation, right? And so that is the Juneteenth story. Before there was freedom, there was a great struggle. And so our Juneteenth story, I like to say, it begins in Africa. Black people came across the water in chains, and American slavery survived from 1619 till 1865. How did Black people come? They came across the water. How did they come? In boats. They came in chains. And how long did the institution of American slavery last? It lasted for 246 long years. But here is the question. For 246 years, what were the enslaved doing? They were doing several things. Some of them ran away because they said, I'd rather run away and be killed than be enslaved. Many of them organized rebellions because the enslaved, some of them said, I'd rather fight and die than to be enslaved. And then some of them worked because they said, look, I want my children to live. In order for my children to live, it might be better to go along to get along so that my children can live and then perhaps become a generation of free people. So some of them worked, and a great number of them prayed to their gods that they brought with them from Africa. Some of them received Christianity and they prayed to the master's God. But many of them, no matter what God or what they called God, many of them also were Islamic, and they prayed to their God, to who whatever they called their God, the greater creative power in each of them. They prayed to that God. They prayed until liberation came, but then also they did something else. Many of them, when no one was looking, they learned to read. Now, mind you, it was against the law for the enslaved to read. They could be whipped, they could be maimed, they would certainly be punished if it was discovered that they were learning to read. But just like those who ran away, just like those who waged rebellions, those who would sneak to read said, look, I'd rather be caught reading and endure the punishment than to be ignorant. And so that's what many of them did. And think of the beauty now where, thank God, all of us can read books, all of us can be critical thinkers because we have access to books and literature. And the liberation of the mind is how you are free. Free your mind, and then you can free your body, right? And so we just thank the Lord for the 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 level of freedoms that we have right today. And so, and I knew I was coming to do this program, and so I just divided it into sections that I came up with. These are my sections. They did not come from a book. These are my ideas, right? And so I say, this is what I say. American slavery lasted 1619, 1865, 240 years. This is the Juneteenth story. And then we have Reconstruction, a level of freedom, right? Only 12 years, y'all. Reconstruction, that level of freedom for the enslaved, only lasted from 1865 to 1877. And then the status quo decides, oh no, we cannot let the enslaved be free. We cannot give them full rights. We have got to keep them relegated under a system of suffering and inequality. And so what do? The government then institutionalizes, legalizes um, inequality with Jim Crow signs, blacks here, whites there, underfunded black schools, limited places where blacks can live, um, all of that, right? What it means to be living in a segregated Jim Crow America. And then we have the civil rights movement comes along in 1955 and produces the 1964 Civil Rights Act, which now says every American live where you want to, go to school where you want to, um, vote, the Voting Rights Act, all of that comes into place, right? But the government itself with those acts has oversight to make sure that the laws will be implemented. And then you also all those civil rights laws, they survive for like 60, 61 years. And then you have the death of those civil rights acts. Well, the Voting Rights Act of 65, it was started being gutted in 2013. And but then now you have gerrymandering, like so the Supreme Court then makes gerrymandering legal, right? And now every other freedom that you've gained with those Civil Rights Act seems to be for us in jeopardy. And so what does that mean about our American history? It means that the struggle for liberation continues. The struggle continues. If you have children, if you have great grandchildren, great grandchildren, this is now their struggle. They have now more voting, they have less voting rights than you had. Than you now, for me, they got children today have less voting rights and oversight of the law protections than my mama had when she died, right? And so the struggle continues. And Coretta Scott King, not Dr. King, Coretta Scott King said that struggle is a never-ending process. Freedom is never really won All right. We earn it and win it in every generation. And so it is never wise to relax and think that we have arrived when it comes to laws that give us freedom and justice. Because you can believe it's always somebody staying up overnight thinking of ways that they can chip away and dismantle your liberation and your freedom. So we can never relax. And we do know that I mentioned the civil rights movement. We do know that Dr. King and those hundreds and thousands of people, black, white, and otherwise, who marched with Dr. King together, that whole swell zeitgeist moment, that whole movement led us to the 1964 and 1965 civil rights bills that profited all minorities, right? That one movement where all of these people were working together, it profited black people, brown people, yellow people, right? It profited all the minorities, right? But guess what? Where is Dr. King now? He's not here. Dr. King is dead. Where is Coretta now? She's not here. Coretta has passed away. She is dead. Rosa Parks, dead. Frederick Douglass, dead. Sojourner Truth, dead. Harriet Tubman, dead. And so all of these iconic freedom fighters are not here. And I say that's great because there is someone here. And who is here? You are here. You are here. Your children are here. Your grandchildren are here. And because you are here, this movement of liberation, this need for liberation, this fight for liberation that now stands before us has to be won with your efforts, your labor, your sacrifice. As my father said, no cross, no crown. It's now time for you to bear the cross and make liberation possible so that the next generation can wear the crown. And so now that I have said my opinion about what I consider to be our Juneteenth history, I'm now going to read for you Opal Lee and What It Means to Be Free, the true story, the grandmother of Juneteenth. But the question now is, who was she? Well, she was a grandmother who decided in 2016 that she wanted to continue the movement of Mr. Edwards. There was a man named Edwards in Texas, who began in 1979, inspired Texas to practice Juneteenth as a national observance day because Juneteenth has always been practiced in Texas. And so Mr. Edwards, he passed away, but Opal Lee decided to take up that mantle in 2026 to make it a national holiday. And she collected over almost 200,000 signatures, took those signatures. She walked all over the nation during the summertime and over a course of several summers. And she took those signatures to Washington, D.C., and inspired the Congress, the Senate, and the president to make Juneteenth a holiday. And so now I'm going to read for you her story. So let us begin. Happy Juneteenth Jamboree. Come and join the fun. Opal Lee waved to her great-grandson as he barreled across the park. He zipped past lines of picnic tables covered with platters of barbecue, baked beans, tomato tarts, and raspberry cobbler. He hurried past a leaping choir draped in purple robes. He danced a jig with cowboys playing fiddles, but they did not stop his flow. Buddy ran to the blooming tree where Opal Lee held court. Her braided hair was a silver crown. Her eyes were twinkling stars. Great granddear, Buddy called. Tell us a Juneteenth story. Opal Lee raised her face to the sun as her memories of yesteryear, filled her vision. When she had been a Texas bud like the children at her feet, Granddaddy Zach told her freedom stories on his wooden porch. Opal Lee remembered his words. She lifted her hands and cheered. Juneteenth means freedom. And now it's story time. Then Opal Lee began. She told the children. Once upon a blazing sun, black bodies were bought and sold like cattle. Black men plowed the fields, but were not allowed to own the land. Black women cooked the food, but were not allowed to feast on roast and rib from the master's table. Black children cleaned the one-room schoolhouses, but they were not allowed to read or write. Earning and learning were against the law. Slavery was a thief. Say it with me. Slavery was a thief. American slavery dragged on like a plague until January 1, 1863. That's when President Lincoln wielded courage and raised his feathered pen. He signed the Emancipation Proclamation with the mighty stroke. It said, on the first day of January in the year of our Lord 1863, all persons held as slaves shall be forever free. Glory, glory, glory. Freedom was dazzling news like a bright, starry night. However, Texas was big and many miles away from Mr. Lincoln. White masters defied his words. And when white masters defied his words, black bodies remained in bondage. Yes, they did. Repeat after me. They plowed, they cooked, they cleaned. Freedom did not ring. Freedom did not ring. Freedom did not ring through Texas in 1863. It was toiling times in the Lone Star State for 2 more years, 5 months, and 18 more weary days. But trouble doesn't last always. Finally, Joy jumped up on dancing feet in the Gulf town of Galveston. The year was 1865. The day was June 19. Gordon Granger marched through Galveston with Union Army troops. The general raised his booming voice and spoke these righteous words. He said, the people of Texas are informed that in accordance with a proclamation from the executive of the United States, all slaves are free. Opal Lee danced in a circle. Freedom, hope, and joy divine. Juneteenth means it's freedom time. Can you imagine the excitement to go to bed enslaved and to wake up free? Singing filled the air, happy tears rolled down like rain. Black families leaped through cotton fields and played tambourines. It was a day of jubilee, perfect for Texas. Barbecue, watermelon, and sweet potato pie, all of the delicious delights that they had been denied during their servitude. Opal Lee told the children, remember my words for safekeeping. Remember what I say. Juneteenth is bigger than Texas singing or dancing bands. Juneteenth is freedom rising, and freedom is for everyone. Juneteenth is you and me. As the children clapped and cheered, Buddy tugged his grandmother's sleeve. He said, what was Juneteenth like when you were a kid? Opal Lee unwrapped another story. She said, blacks and whites lived separately when I was a child. Jim Crow signs littered old Fort Worth in every public place. Black families were banned from the zoo, except one day of the year. On Juneteenth, we could picnic, party, and ride the Ferris wheel. I hated that zoo. I loved it too. The birdhouse was my favorite. Buddy groaned and shook his head. He said, the old days don't sound so good. Grandmother said good and bad work together like the sun and rain. I spent good days on my granddaddy's porch reading poetry books. His farm was my playground. I ran across the fields and climbed the tallest oaks. Glory, 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 she said. Some memories are chocolate sweet, but some memories cut and bruise. My saddest season started on Juneteenth Day, 1939. At that time, Opal was only 12 years old. She said, "An angry mob with flaming sticks burned my family's brand new house. Their broken minds and evil hearts were so afraid of black progress. The police made no arrests. My family moved away, and yet the embers burn. That fire still lives in me." I learned a big lesson that Juneteenth day. Freedom is a golden coin. Struggle makes it shine. And no matter how long it takes for freedom to stretch across this land, I will keep on teaching. I will keep on reaching. I will keep on walking. I will keep on talking. I will raise my voice on the prairie and the mountaintop until freedom rings. The children lifted their hands in praise. Freedom, hope, and joy divine. Juneteenth means it's freedom time. Opal Lee winked and chuckled. She said, "I think now it's time for barbecue, strawberry cake, and red Juneteenth punch." "Glory, glory, glory," Buddy cheered and waved his hands. When he bounced up to leave, Opal Lee hugged him tightly. Then, just like birds in flight, all the children flocked into her arms. Opally studied their shining faces. Repeat after me. They were black, brown, bronze, gold, white, tan, freckles. As the children dashed away, she marveled at the bright future. Opal rested against the blooming tree and whispered into the wind. She said, "Remember my words for safekeeping. Remember what I say. Freedom is for everyone. Juneteenth is you. Juneteenth is me. Juneteenth is you. Juneteenth is me." Drop the pen, pen bent, and that's the way that story time went. Now, what I have for you today is I just want to show you. Here is the house from Opal Lee when she was 12 years old, and white terrorists burned her family's house down when they were the first black family to move into the neighborhood. But now here is that same spot of land several decades and years later in 2026, where the city of Fort Worth purchased the land, gave the land to Opal Lee, and the Habitat for Humanity built her a home, a brand new home, and that home is hers for the remaining of her life. So, what is the lesson? The lesson is that trouble does not last always, and that change is possible. But if you want to see change, you must be the change. And these are the lessons that I learned from Opal Lee because I had to interview her in order to write this book. And when I interviewed her, she made five things very clear. She said, "Alice, Juneteenth is a time for reflection, where she encouraged people to look back over the past, see how far we've all come, and then evaluate the present and see what we need to do to go even further." She also said that Juneteenth is a time for music and dancing. She said that Juneteenth is a time for feasting and fellowship, to enjoy the joy of liberation, the form of liberation that we have right now. And then she also said that Juneteenth is a time for young people to listen to your elders, and it's a time for elders to listen to the young people. And lastly, she would say to me, "Alice, Juneteenth is not a Black holiday." She would say Juneteenth is a holiday that unites people in the name of freedom. Juneteenth stands as an emblem of liberation to anyone who is oppressed, because Juneteenth is the idea that says Freedom is possible. No matter the struggle of your past, freedom is possible. And so that's what I share with you. I want to share those 5 things with you.
Thank
And
you.
as I end, I want to say that I am Alice Faye Duncan. These are some of my books. Please, if you enjoyed listening to my conversation today, please invite me to your church, invite me to your school. I can be contacted through my website, alicefayeduncan.com. And thank you. Thank you so much, South Church, for inviting me to participate in your Juneteenth celebration.
Let's do a round of applause for Alice Faye and appreciation. What a beautiful sentiment, particularly in the Juneteenth unites as the Freedom Festival is that call for us all to come together. And I know now we're going to continue with the reading of the for the festival. And at South Church, we're going to turn it over to our young man who's going to be reading it to us from two other, I believe two, or at least one children's book. And thank you so much. And thank you, Alice Faye, again. Thank you. South Church.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Chapman. Um, Good afternoon, too. I'm from Springfield, Massachusetts Central High School. I'm 15 years old. I'm a freshman rising up to a sophomore. And today I'm going to be reading the book, What Can a Citizen Do? What in the world can a citizen do? Who can a citizen be? A citizen is just like you. A citizen can plant a tree. A citizen can help a neighbor. A citizen can join a cause. A citizen can write a letter. A citizen can help change laws. Says it went from no trumpets to okay trumpets. A citizen can right a wrong. A citizen can turn things round. A citizen can get things right side that have been upside down. A citizen should be engaged. A citizen should care and care. A citizen should build things, save things. A citizen can be a bear. Yes, a citizen can be a bear. A citizen can be a kid. A citizen can wear pink pants. A citizen cannot stay hid. A citizen's not what you are. A citizen is what you do. A citizen cannot forget. The world is more than you. We're part of a society, one full of joy and pain, a land of latticed people, none of us the same. And if we help just one, help one lonely soul? We open doors, we bring in light, we bind us all and make us whole. So forget yourself a second. Grab a shovel or a pen. Do something for another. Don't you dare doubt that you can. Everything makes an impact on a bigger big than you. And all it starts with the question, what can a citizen do? That's the end of this story. I have one more story,
Wonderful.
and it is a vote is a powerful thing. A vote is a powerful thing. That's what my teacher says. Powerful enough to change the world that gets my attention. So I listen up. One vote combined with other votes during an election is what puts our mayors, governors, senators, and even the president of the United States into office. Ms. Trask explains, right now, that's what everyone's talking about, the presidential election in November. But Ms. Trask says we'll soon have our very own classroom election too. It's for something I think you'll all care about, Ms. Trask hints. Elections can be about important issues as well. A vote, we find out in class, really is a powerful thing. So powerful that throughout our country's history, people organized, marched, and protested for the right to vote. This says Votes for Women, Voting Rights Act 1965. Support the 18-year-old vote. Access is a right. Equal access to polls. Native vets stand up. Native American vote. My grandma knows a vote is a powerful thing to do. Powerful enough that she's up early this Saturday. Please vote for funds to save the wilderness park, Grandma tells every grown-up she meets. Being outside in the forest is good for you. And where else in this town can folks experience the wonders of nature? People don't know much about the wilderness park. I do. It's where I saw my first mountain laurel in full bloom, my first turtle in a pond, my first swallowtail butterfly. It's where I spotted my first and only great horned owl. I want to save the park too, but I don't know how to help. At school, we talk more about voting. We learn that supporters of a candidate or a cause may spend lots of time and money on campaigns with signs, ads, and speeches. They do this in hopes of winning each citizen's one precious and powerful vote. That day, Miss Trask makes her big announcement. Our classroom election will be for our next field trip. You may choose between the cookie factory or the wilderness park. The cookie factory tour gives free samples. Yum, says Lynn. I heard there's a nature trail at the park, says Reed. What's so special about that? Asks Jeannie. Suddenly, I know this election is important to me, and I have an idea. Some of my classmates have never been to the Wilderness Park. If they saw it just once, I know they want to visit it again and bring their families. Then maybe lots of people would care about saving the park. Miss Trask, I say, I'd like to campaign in support for the Wilderness Park. An aspiring idea, Callie, she says. So first, I design posters. I draw postcards, I write a speech. It isn't easy. Maybe you could share your best memories of the park, Callie, Dad suggests. So that's what I do. But I'm not the only one campaigning. On our class's election day, Lynn makes her speech first. She reads all about the cookie factory. She tells everyone we could learn important things on the tour about food and science and technology. She isn't wrong. The cookie factory would be a good field trip. And don't forget, free cookies, Lynn says. Then it's my turn. First, I tell everyone about my best wilderness park memories. The woodsy forest smells, the cardinals singing in the trees, and the tadpoles with long tails and brand new legs wiggling around the pond, and that awesome owl. And like Lynn, I've done my research too. Scientists believe that spending time in nature can help kids be healthier and smarter and more creative, I say, and even kinder too. Really? Jeannie asks. Uh-huh. But we can all find it out for ourselves, I say. Vote for the Wilderness Park. Everyone in class receives a paper ballot. One by one, we cast our votes. I hold my breath as Miss Trask counts them up. She pulls the last ballot from the box and holds it up. I am proud of Lynn and Callie, says Miss Trask. You both ran great campaigns and made some excellent points about each field trip. So excellent, in fact, that the election is tied now, with just one vote left to count. Miss Trask unfolds the last ballot and smiles. And the winner is. In the next page, they're on the bus to Wilderness Park. At the Wilderness Park, Reed scrambles up a rock. Diego sniffs a wildflower. Jeannie examines a spider web through a magnifying glass. And then we all spot it, a quick flash of red as a fox darts from a bush and dashes across the path. I've never seen a fox before. That's amazing, Lynn whispers. I wish my brother could see all this. And my mom, says Reed. I'm full of hope. Because now I know it's really true. A vote is a powerful thing. The end.
You're getting lots of Zoom applause. Yeah. Lovely. That's so lovely. I wondered. And I was just thinking, this is so lovely to have stories, to actually to hear stories being read. I wonder if I know we're gonna keep our program on the shorter side, but if there was either a question or a appreciation that anybody wanted to give from the audience in response to Michael and to Alice? I see this beautiful smile going on. You can see the appreciations. Oh, Catherine, I think you're trying to speak. Is that correct? And so, hold on. I'm going to ask to unmute. Click the
Oh,
button. There you go.
I was just typing that I enjoyed hearing Michael and Alice read, and I wanted to thank you and everyone who's responsible for putting this together.
Yeah, the South Church. What a beautiful, beautiful opportunity. Thank you for sharing that, Catherine.
Yeah. I'll mute again.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, it's such a. I was saying to Alice earlier, what I love about the Freedom Festival and organizations and individuals choosing to create events is that it's a platform for all of us to do something. And like the readings that we have are the Opal saying we can celebrate and do something. What can a citizen do? A citizen can do something. What's the value of the vote? And organizing can do something. And we can all do this reflection over the time from Juneteenth to July 4th, from today through the rest of our lives, that continue to invite each other to create something that unites us. Martha?
I'm wondering if Michael, or is it Michael, could share what it was like to share
we
this
make
story
sure we
with
get a
people
big
across
round
the
of applause
country
for
and
Michael
around
for
on
sitting here
being able
and
to,
doing
for
this
us to
and making that
see the
hall feel rich.
reading
Oh, hold on a
on
second, Martha.
Zoom.
Martha, um, we have a little lag in our thing, so actually South Church was speaking at the same time. So maybe you could repeat what you were saying, but Camille, go ahead again and say what you were saying from South Church, which I think was an invitation to give a big round of applause to Michael for his reading. And Camille, we don't hear you, but that's what we're saying. And so we're going to do that again. Michael, thank you. Camille, thank you for making sure that we did
And
that.
going out and doing good work, because that's what he does. So let's give a big round of applause for Michael.
You warmed our hearts, Michael, in a big way. Martha, did you want to try again, or did you have the
I
same?
do. I was with you on that. I was really thinking about Michael, moved by the reading for both of them. But I'm curious, Michael, what it's like for you, if you can tell us to share this reading with us across the country. We're out on the coast of California, and I'm really moved. I'm actually an educator, and I'm just moved by you sharing the book and the story with us just in this format. And I'm already thinking about the people I want to share that story with.
So what was it like for you? And I think we have to unmute in two places, both on our Zoom and in South Church. Michael. We are muted on Zoom still, and so we don't hear Michael yet. And am I right, Carolina? Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. I think me reading this book, I think it really shows how, how you can be a citizen, like it said in the book. I think it just shows everything you can do as a citizen, especially as kids, because kids, they don't have, the rights to vote yet. So I think it just perfectly represents how you could, like, make the world a better place as, the rights you already do have, which is being a citizen. And that's really all I think.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Michael, would you like to do it for us again?
No,
And I see another Michael saying yes, thumbs up to that question of like read it again. Is that what that was? Was that what that was for? And is we want both books? Which book are you thinking, Michael? We have two Michaels, Michael at South Church and Michael on the phone. Do you have a preference of which book? No, not a preference. All right. Michael, I think if you're willing, would you read again one of the books? Your choice?
Or I think the question was, would he do it for the church again in the future?
Oh, is that what this question was? Camille, we couldn't hear you.
I definitely would read again. It was pretty fun, and I learned something too. I had fun reading it, and it was a pretty fun story to read.
I just wanted to share, as an adult learner, as an adult, some of these books and with you reading them is much more powerful than sitting in a lecture hall.
Alice, have you heard people read your book before? Like, I know you read for us, and what is it like for you and you're muted. What is it like for you when people when you hear us read your book? We heard you this time, but what's it like?
Oh, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to be a vessel, to be used to create something that's sharing information and inspiring children, giving them knowledge and giving them inspiration. So I just find I'm always filled with the heart of gratitude to be a part of the experience.
Definitely. When the play reading, the stage play. So again, this event is part of 22 events that are happening across the country, and the Juneteenth staged play reading, which you could go to the website and watch it because it's on YouTube now too. It's recorded. Um, you it just highlights again the important role that young people have played in creating freedom. Michael, young people your age have been leaders. You are, and you're participating and choosing to be with us. Your own leadership to show up has made so much possible for us. So, Alice, I appreciate your saying that too about um, the kind of the vessel and being in community, creating and having the information. Everyone showing up as part of that. Do others have anything else you would like to say? I'd like to imitate, I'm going to say your name is Abby. Is that your name, Abby? Yeah. I would love for us all to imitate Abby, which is just this beautiful smile into the camera. If we could all just give this, because it has been delightful to be here. It's so wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for that. It's such a gift.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Glitch, for joining us. Yeah. I think this is a beautiful event, Camille. Thank you for organizing the Father's Day story time, for inviting Alice, Michael, the books, organizing them, creating an opportunity for us to fellowship, reflect, and continue to organize freedom with joy and fellowship. Check out the rest of the Freedom Festival. Come back, create more, share your stories. It has been lovely, lovely to spend this weekend, this day with you. Have a wonderful night. Rest of your day. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Be well.